So over the past 4 to maybe 6 months that we've been talking about RICO, we've used the term sensing the emerging future pretty frequently to tell the story of what would be happening here at this event. You know, this emerging future idea is one that we have come back to over and over again over the years. And over the course of today, we've spent some time pondering the future, but we've also spent some time observing the present and what's happening, the trends that are happening all around us. We've even spent a little bit of our time, revisiting and reflecting on some of the decisions or trends, questions of the past that have shaped the industry that we live in now in 2023. But for this final session of today, we're really going to fix our focus firmly on the future. And in doing that, the reason for doing that is because we want to be able to broaden our scope. We're going to look outside of coffee again for inspiration and try to understand better the landscape that the industry operates in. That's where the term sensing becomes important, in sensing the emergent future versus, say, shaping the future. Because I believe that we do have the power to shape the future, both individually and collectively. But the future of coffee doesn't exist in a vacuum, anywhere, at any point in this coffee system. We are all carrying with us today our professional identities as roasters, baristas, traders, producers, researchers. But in addition to those roles we play in coffee, we're also citizens and consumers and family members. We simultaneously shape the future, and we're also shaped by forces acting on us from the outside. So in terms of those forces, in terms of this future, it's good to be reflective on who we are and the industry that we're a part of, but also, again, to look for insights elsewhere. When I first heard the term mass customization, which is going to be the topic of our next talk, what occurred to me was this. And it's not because the seafood case of the grocery store is the cutting edge of innovation, although it might be, It's because jumbo shrimp is a classic example given to illustrate the definition of the word oxymoron, where it's a combination of contradictory or incongruous words. And that's that jumbo shrimp, Like, it's a shrimp, it's tiny. How big could it possibly be? Jumbo is a word for like elephants and jets. It's just silly to call a shrimp a jumbo shrimp. Except that in context, what seems like it's incongruous or contradictory actually totally makes sense, because there's a whole variety of sizes that shrimp come in. And sure, a jumbo shrimp might not be big compared to a salmon or an elephant, but the size of other animals isn't really relevant when we're talking about shrimp, right? In the same way that, the largest cities in Honduras would be small if we were to compare them to Chinese cities, but the size of Chinese cities is not really relevant to someone in San Pedro Sula who is describing their hometown. So context is important. I believe that same philosophy, that same thing applies to mass customization. In the abstract, these two words would seem to contradict each other. But when we put it in context, it can make sense. And thankfully, our next speaker is here to do just that for us. Miranda Caldwell will take the idea of mass customization and ground it in the coffee industry, helping us to understand how and when it makes sense for us. She's the founder of the Coffee MBA, and I'm very pleased to welcome her to the stage. Miranda?